Rumor has it that the Chicago Bulls are very much in the mix to bring back DeMar DeRozan. We're going to sit here and understand whether or not this is going to be a good move or bad move for the organization, as we still are stuck in the epitome of mid right after this. Now, if you don't know, this is your boy Pkidd from the Windy City Breeze on Chicago Bulls Breeze, giving you the news on the Chicago Bulls. Listen, the Chicago Bulls, like I said, epitome of mid, but we still got to cover them because it's our city, baby. Listen, looks like the Chicago Bulls are very eager to bring Chicago All-Star DeMar DeRozan back. Now, I'll be honest with you. Like, you should bring him back. Realistically, he was the only reason we were competitive in some of these games. He was the only reason we actually made some noise. And from the games I actually went to, he was the only reason why we were even in those games. Now, with the emergence of Kobe White and some of the other young players kind of coming to their own, it does bring some questions. And one of the questions I immediately have is, well, how much is it going to cost? Now, if you've been sticking around looking at how this cap has worked and looking at some of the contracts some other players have gotten, it wouldn't surprise me if DeMar was on a 2-year deal worth anywhere between 80 to 90 million. Now, for those who are bad at math, that's anywhere between 40 to 45 million dollars a year. You would say, hey kid, what the heck are you talking about? He's worth it. Let me sit there and just run down a couple names for you right now. Players who get paid more but do less and have just as much playing time, if I may. I'm going to introduce you, if I may, can I introduce you to the idea of a Chris Middleton? By the way, Chris Middleton is some people would say lives up to his name. Very mid. I think he's a good player. Not great, good. By the way, he averages about 27 to 30 minutes a game. So he's getting starter minutes. He's a starter, for God's sake. By the way, he is getting paid $37 million a year. Oh, that $37 million a year. It's a lot. It's a lot for what you get. By the way, Chris Middleton gave you last season. Now, he was hurt a good portion of the season. I'm not going to sit there and just I'm not going to make it seem as if he was just a complete scrub or he didn't have a reason to. Last 2 seasons, he's actually sustained some pretty decent time away. Played 33 games last season, 55. 33 the season before last, 55 last season. Has averaged around 15 points respectively both seasons before he actually got hurt. But averaging 20 points a game. But again, that's when he got paid that contract. When he was healthy and on the floor, 20 points a game. We all know what DeMar DeRozan's stats are. We know what he does. If you've been watching the Bulls, it's a no-brainer that he should get and will get what I actually projected, if not a little more. I'm not gonna lie to you. That doesn't suit your fancy. Don't worry about it. I got you covered. Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is younger. He's playing starter minutes. He's definitely starting. He's definitely playing starter minutes. He averaged 17 points a game, 48% shooting. Mid-range bully. I give him that. Hey, you all know how much Tobias Harris makes? I know you don't. Don't worry about it. I got it. Tobias Harris signed a near max contract, 5 years, 180 million. Let me go and see what it actually boils down to real quick. I wanted to double check this one just because I'm like, nah, it can't be that, right? But yep, he makes a pretty penny. Tobias Harris last season, and yeah, we pocket watching, big pocket watching. He made $39 million. Set that to the side right there. He made $39 million. Tobias Harris was not the first nor the second option for that team. He made $39 million. You still think that DeMar garnering 40 million is too much? Because for some who agree, hey, listen, this is what it is. You pay the man. Me and you on the same page. I'm preaching to the choir, baby. That is what it is. But there is a subset of people, and it's a very large subset of people who would believe that that's way too much for someone who shouldn't be your primary. Guess what? No, he's your closer. He's definitely closing out games. Maybe you think Kobe White should do it. I think Kobe has a long way to go. I love the ascendance that he's having. I love everything he's putting on the floor. He has a way to go. This is what it costs to be competitive. And since he's one of our only means of being competitive right now, you keep that player. Hey, let me introduce you to the idea of getting rid of Vooch if you're going to get rid of some people. But that's a different conversation, right? What this all boils down to is it scare money don't make money, baby. You gotta actually spend the money to put the team together to be competitive. And keeping players like Demar would help you do that. Keeping players like Demar actually would make it easier for you to get other talent that want to come if you're going to actually go star hunting. Because you know what? You know what other stars really do want? They don't want it to be extra, extra hard. Some stars are coming from situations where it was already extremely difficult. Allow me the opportunity to succeed in the spaces where I have the resources, I have the talent there. All right, now let's go put it together and actually go win something. Because doing it solo ain't gonna work. By the way, if you've been living under a rock, Ant-Man's learning right now. I got a decent team around me, but I don't have a good number two that's consistent enough on the scoring end to help me. Because if Cat was consistent, the Wolves would probably be moving on. The Wolves would have been 3-1 heading back to Denver right now. But instead, it's a 2-2 series, 0-0 realistically, because Ant-Man doesn't have a clear number two. He's going to find out real quickly the cost of a good number two. Oh, by the way, Karl-Anthony Towns. Don't even know how much that guy makes. Let's see what that is, because he's clearly a number two on that team at this particular point. Let's sit there and do that for kicks and giggles. Karl-Anthony Towns had a decent season. In fact, Karl-Anthony Towns at 28 is 21 points a game, 50% from the field. He's one of the best three-point shooting big men. I hate to admit it, but he really is one of the best three-point shooting big men who have ever graced the court. It's kind of wild to say that, but it is what it is. Let's see what Ant-Man's contract is. And you all can tell me whether or not this is one of those things. Oh, wow. Jesus. He signed a 4-year, 221. Yeah, that's a lot of money right there. Karl-Anthony Towns. Jesus. Too much. Let's just put it that way. Too much. This man's making nearly $50 million a year and will be making 50 plus for the next couple of years. He's going to be making some big money. So to see what he actually does and the detriment and the detriment he could be to his team at a point, Demar not only is worth that, he's probably going to be underpaid if you compare it to what other contracts are on the market for people who are just as impactful or dependent on things of that nature. Now, I know it's a position-based game, so I gave you two people at his position, small forward, that actually garner that. But just in case you needed some extra help, be prepared for DeMar DeRozan to get the bag. Not only because that's what the market is, it's because he freaking deserves it. But I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear whether or not you believe that he is worth 80, 90. Don't be surprised if the number 100 come across. A 2-year $100 million deal. Sounds weird, sounds crazy. But if you're having a hard time star hunting, I would do it for DeMar DeRozan, especially because of what his game is based on, and the synergy that you're kind of building. But it has to be a 2-year joint. Can't be longer than that. That right there may be worth it. Now, again, that's worst case scenario. Wouldn't go much higher than that. I almost felt weird even saying that. But if you look at the contracts and stuff like that, that's where that money is going. To end this real quick, because I did say I was wrapping up, but I just want to throw this out there. Anyone notice that a Jaylen Brown still can't go left? What does that have to do with DeMar DeRozan? Oh, he's going to be making $60-something million. All right, put that in pipe smoker. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. This is, again, another episode of the Chicago Bulls Breeze. We will be breaking this more down. You will see me more in the studio. You will see maybe some of the guys come through. You may see Pat a little bit. Hey, we'll see. We may see JC. We may even catch the man, myth, the legend himself, Super Booster Joe Holt. But all in all, we appreciate you all tuning in, watching all of the channels that we have. Till next time. Peace.